you can show that you're confident outside, but like inner confidence is like the best one. And I think a lot of people, like, I'm very confident in, like, I had a really good job or whatever, and I was like, I'm a really confident worker, blah blah blah, but I didn't have the self-belief and the inner confidence to really go for it and do it myself sooner. So I think going into the deep, just throwing yourself into the deep end and just going for it and believing in yourself is that's what I would do.
Hi, and welcome back to the Kelly Lumber Podcast. I'm your host, business mentor, personal brand and style expert, who is on a personal mission to inspire you to take action, to share some piece of knowledge that is just going to make you do something or make you think of something or just show up as the best version you can possibly be. And who is doing that? Well, in this episode, it is Elinor. Elinor started her business, a really interesting story, from her kitchen table back in London with just £100. And she started a line of hair care products for curly women. She says that they're products made by a curly for curlies. So in this episode, Elinor talks about how she felt sort of conformed to straighten her hair, and then one day after years, she kind of ditched the straighteners and embraced her natural curls, but got so frustrated at the lack of products and hair care products that were out there that were any good and that, didn't have harmful chemicals and preservatives in them. So she started her own line of just one product is what it started off with. And years later, she's launching new products, not just for curly haired women. And I say women because she talks about how a lot of men use the product as well. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. And if you love this, don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and tell me on Instagram. Screenshot it, share it with a friend, inspire someone else. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the show, Elinor. It's great to have you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I've actually been listening to a lot of your podcasts, so I can't believe I'm actually going to be on one.
Yay! It's so good to have you. Where are you from originally?
West Wales.
Okay. And how long have you been in the Middle East for then? Or how long have you been in Dubai?
So only since March this year. So I'm still a newbie to...
You are a newbie.
Yeah.
Why?
I think I've only just started going for brunches and things now because it's kind of all started opening up. So I'm getting the real Dubai experience.
Have you come with family? Have you come on your own?
With my fiance.
Nice, congratulations. Yeah. Well, let's get into a little bit of the backstory, maybe what brought you to Dubai, and then share everyone a little bit about your what you're offering and what you're doing, because it's really cool.
So I'm Elinor, so founder of Olew Hair, so a natural and vegan hair care brand, targeted at those with like curly and wavy hair. But we're branching out, so a lot of straight-haired people are also buying our products now, which is really cool. So what brought me to Dubai was my business, and also I find it really weird saying fiance. I say boyfriend, partner. I don't know, it sounds a bit strange.
When are you getting married then?
We were supposed to get married, but then COVID happened. So that's just
the pandemic weddings yet to still happen.
Yeah. So we'll sort that out another day. So we came over here. So basically, I wanted to come over here over a year ago because during kind of the height of the kind of lockdown and pandemic in the UK, we saw a huge increase of sales from like the Gulf region. Which was really cool because we've not done any advertising or any kind of promotion within the region. It was mainly because we had one stockist in Kuwait who was selling like huge numbers. And also, I think I did a few Instagram posts of different curls and like different women. So not just all kind of Western. It was, we had representation of across the board of kind of mixed race, Black women, Muslim women wearing their headscarves. And I think that representation kind of really resonated with a lot of the women in the region. So I just saw a huge influx of all these orders, which was amazing. But obviously, because of lockdown and the pandemic, postage went sky high. So all the ladies from Dubai, Saudi, Kuwait were paying astronomical prices for postage.
Wow.
they're still paying for the postage for my little products, and you always think of your business as just kind of, your little business, whereas probably isn't, but I always think like that. So, and then obviously it took like maybe a month, 5 weeks for them to arrive, sometimes sooner, but sometimes like way later.
Yeah, postal service around the Middle East is not known to, the fact it even gets here, I always think is quite remarkable.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, my birthday was in May and loads of my friends sent things, and never, some were sent back to them, which was good. At least it didn't get getting lost or anything. But the postcode thing like always throws me, because I'm like, some people don't even have PO boxes. I'm like, how do they get there?
Yeah, it's just everything has to be couriered. Well, let's take a little step back then before we got to here. And how did the idea for the product come about? Because for those that they're hearing this on audio version, but I can see you've got beautiful curls. So I'm assuming that it comes from frustration through yourself. But let us know a little bit of this backstory.
Yeah, so there's kind of two bits to it, really. So one was in 2012 when I stopped straightening my hair. So I straightened my hair every day, probably twice a day. It was like my kind of regime. And I used to dye it, so it was all really dry and it just wouldn't grow. So anyway, yeah. So I used to straighten it like twice, 3 times a day. I was completely obsessed until I went on a trip around Spain by myself to learn Spanish. I had one bag, and I remember looking in my bag and I was like, there's no more room, because I've got all my straightening hair products, straighteners, blow dryers, you name it, in this bag, and I have nothing else to take. So I was like, this is ridiculous. I need to get a grip. I can't take these things. So that was in 2012. And since then, obviously, I was traveling around thinking I had luscious locks, but actually looking back at pictures, it was so dry, not curly, like kind of like a scarecrow.
It wasn't Instagrammable friendly?
Not at all. Like no one was taking any pictures of it at all. Like no selfies were taken, thank God. So when I got back, I was trying to find products that would help my hair grow, help it kind of get, nourishment and get all glossy and curly. And there was honestly nothing. Like obviously there was mousse and there was some creams and things, but they weren't really natural, and they'd make my hair all crunchy, like quite 80s vibes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Having had permed hair in the 90s and that mousse scrunched up look.
Wet look.
Yeah.
So nothing was really helping my hair grow. And I'd go to hairdressers and they'd, say, oh, well, curly hair doesn't grow that much, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, come on, it's hair. Like hair grows. Like this is ridiculous. Just how you treat it. So I just went on loads of courses, read so much about it, became like quite obsessed with understanding what ingredients do what to your hair and your scalp and things. And after loads and loads of mixing in my kitchen, I came up with the hair oil that I still sell today. But it wasn't to be sold. It was just for me to use on my hair. So that was 2012. So I used it on my hair. And I don't know if anyone listening is from London or knows London. I'd go on the tube on the way to work and I'd have like bottles in my bag. So I'd like give them to people. And on the tube, nobody speaks to anyone in London on the tube. Yeah, and I had 2 occasions where ladies asked me what I put on my hair. And I'd be like, oh, just this. I've got a little bottle. Here you go. Let me know how you get on. Didn't think anything of it, went to work. And that's how I went on until 2018. So I'd, made shampoos, conditioners, creams, everything up until then, just for myself.
That's a long time though. Before you saw the viability of it being commercial, was it that you didn't know how to, or you didn't think it was ready, or what happened?
I was quite happy with my job. So I worked for BMW on like a graduate scheme. So I'd kind of, when I was in uni, I went on a placement year with them, kind of did PR, marketing, sales, like account executive role, stuff like that. So I was like living that dream of like living in London, got a really good job, got a new car, like didn't really care about it. I was like, oh, this is just something like I put in my hair. Up until I had this moment of realization where I was like, is this going to be my whole life, just getting up and doing this job forever and like being told what to do, because I hate being told what to do, and like getting at my desk at 8 o'clock and leaving at 8 or 7 and working weekends and bank holidays at events and things. I was like, surely if I can put all of this effort into a company and I just do it for myself, I could make the same money, maybe not straight away, obviously, but I was like, eventually. So yeah, that's where.
What age were you when you had that sort of epiphany?
When was it? So where are we now? 20. So it was 2017. I had that kind of epiphany. So how old was I? How old am I now? I'm 30. So 5 years. It was about 25.
So it's young to kind of be having or maybe is that not what they call the quarter life crisis?
Yeah, I think so. I was just like kind of reevaluating, and I was like, all my friends are kind of always going out. I never see them. I'm like, because I really like working. I know that sounds really weird thing to say, but
Not at
I
all.
do. I'm sure you are the same. But I do enjoy working. So I was like, if I did it for myself, I'd probably enjoy it even more. But I still didn't have the idea of what I would actually do until like, and you're like, oh yeah, I make this thing that I actually like for my hair and other people like it.
And that people keep asking me on the
Yeah,
tube
yeah.
what I'm doing that's different.
So it's like all these signs are right in front of me, but I just couldn't, I probably just didn't see them. So yeah, it took a while for me to do it. But I think that's what kind of gives me the confidence to know that it's good because I used them for so many years and mixed it all myself.
So you had the epiphany, you decided then, okay, I've actually got the ideal product. Then how did you go around actually making it commercially viable then? Because you were making it at home in your kitchen then.
Yeah. So I started, I think this is like sometimes I didn't realize, but like it blows people's minds. But I started with £100. And from like where I am in Wales, we're quite frugal. So I think that's probably like where that comes from. And I quite like a challenge. So I was like, I'm going to challenge myself to see if I can put £100 in and see like how it all
How
goes.
far
So
it goes.
yeah, so it was like a bit of a challenge to myself. So I created my logo. I'll show it to you, but no one else can see. Maybe I can share a picture. But created my logo, and I still have the letters today. So I cut these and painted them myself.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Got some like cushions I like, some throws, put them all together, put this on top, took a picture, and that was my logo. So I really was on like kind of a shoestring budget, as they
Budget,
say.
yeah.
And it was all through kind of social media. So I didn't pay for any of my first sales, any marketing, any ads, nothing like that. It was just understanding my niche. So I did a lot of research on like, what curly hair people wanted. And also the second part of the story is obviously the name, well, not obviously at all, but the name is Olew. So it's the Welsh word for oil. So that was another niche that I could tap into, and people were pretty happy in the fact that I was representing Wales and like the Welsh language. So that was another stream of customers that I had. So yeah, just
For
know my niche.
those that are listening, what's the Instagram handle?
Olew hair. So Olew hair.
Fabulous. Okay, so for those that are listening, I'll put that in the link there below. So from social media, people then saw your posts, and then did you have a website or did you start selling?
I did have a website, but it was the most, oh, I don't even know what to call it. It was a website, but it just had a PayPal link because I didn't have enough money in my £100 budget to have kind of, a suave thing. So it was just a PayPal link that people would click on to send me money. Like, so people really trusted me because I think if I looked at someone's website like that now, I'd be like, what is this? This is a scam. But obviously it wasn't. So yeah, it was just very, very basic. Just had a picture of the oil. So I had other products, but I only wanted to launch one to see if it worked, and it did. And I was like, if I can get to 100 sales within like this month or 6 weeks, then I've got a business. And I hit it within like a week.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Elinor. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, everyone thought I was nuts, but
so you'd hit this, you said 100 bottles in sort of, what was it, 6 weeks? Was that what you said? Six months. What did you say?
But I said 6 weeks, but and I thought that was like, a push. I was like, oh my God, I'm really challenging myself here. But I think it was all about, and you probably are agree and are very much the same, is it was not all about me, but I just showed how it worked on me. So you could physically see the transformation, like you could see pictures of what my hair looked like before and after. Mm-hmm. And I just did my own videos of how I applied it. So just using myself as the influencer, even though I'm not an influencer, but just using me because I'm a real person and I use
and
it.
you are the personal brand of your business as well. You know, you're the person using it too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I think that resonated. And still today, I think that's what separates me from kind of the other curly hair brands, like our competitors, is that I always have my face on it. Sometimes it's like really hard because sometimes I can't, I don't want to take videos and selfies and stuff. But I think that's what differentiates me, I think, is just being me. Like
and I say that a lot in the personal branding, but you are your USP, you are your secret sauce. And that, it's exactly that. I just wish more people would adopt that philosophy, because a lot of people do hide behind their business before putting themselves out there. And like yourself, you're saying, well, I don't feel comfortable, but I know that it's what I have to do.
Yeah, because I'd always be like, I'm not vain, because when I'd share my Instagram with like selfies and stuff, I'm not that kind of person, and like I don't know, it's like other people must feel the same. So you don't want to be that person, but I'm like, what is that person? It's just a thing that we put in our head.
So what would you say to someone who isn't really the face of their business, or they're not stepping up? What have you got any advice for them that maybe
I think just show your face. Like, people love people, like people buy from people. And I think if you look at your own buying habits, you'll see that, or like your Instagram, who you follow, or on TikTok or whatever, it's the people that make you follow it. It's not just products, is it? Because that's just a bit boring. If you just see product images all the time, there's nothing for you to relate to, is there? Because it's just a thing. Whereas if you see someone's personality, then it's something that you really invest in, and it's like almost your friend, not just a brand, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I embody that 150 million% for my friends that know me. I use that phrase a lot, 150 million%. So yes, very much on board. So if I can ask you then, because I'm super intrigued to know, how many bottles are you selling now?
It's thousands, depends on the month, but I'm just thinking of last month. So we've got 8 products at the moment, but I'd say the oil, for example, last month we sold about 8,000 of the oils.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've literally gone from this selling the 100 in the few days to now 8,000 and maybe some months more bottles of just the oil alone. So this is not all happening in your kitchen anymore.
No, I've branched out slightly. So you've got, thank God, because my kitchen was absolute chaos. Oh my God, I had boxes, bottles, ingredients, everything, you name it. My house was like something out of a film. But now we have a small, I hate to call it factory. I feel like it needs another word, because factory just sounds a bit too, I don't know, I can't explain it. But yeah, it is a factory. So fulfillment, where it bottles, labels, and stores it. So like kind of like little machines that do what I used to do, which is quite cool.
And makes it a lot faster. Could you imagine trying to bottle 8,000 bottles and get them out?
Just wouldn't happen. It's like the Nutty Professor.
Love it. So I have another question. Have you invested a lot more money? So then you hit your frugal £100. Have you just reinvested everything in for the business, or have you had to also make a significant investment into it yourself?
No money has been put in since the £100.
Wow.
Which is quite cool. Now I've said it out loud. But I did reinvest what I made. So I didn't get anything out of the company for nearly 2 years, but just over 18 months.
Yeah.
So everything that was made was just reinvested, because I guess investment sounds good. And if you say like, oh, I got 300,000, blah, blah, from so-and-so, but they take a stake out of your business. And I feel like once that stake has been given, then also like your not rights, but like your way of running your business is also diluted.
You could go back working for BMW then.
Yeah, exactly. Been told what to do, which I hate. Yeah.
So you've got your flagship product, if you like, your oil, and then how did the other products kind of come about?
So I made them again in the run up, so from 2012 to 2018. So the shampoo, conditioner, the curl cream, and then those are kind of all the ones that I made. And then now I have a chemist who's had about 30 years experience in the beauty industry. So he's like super, super knowledgeable and really interesting. So we do lots of mixing together. So we created the hair healing remedy, which is here. So it's very similar to Olaplex.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a bond. Oh, it's very, very similar. Kind of helps bonds and keratin in your hair. So if it's really, really damaged, then it's amazing. So we've been testing it for a year. So that just launched last month, which has been a really good hit. We've had 5-star reviews. But anyway,
because Olaplex, I use Olaplex, but I have been told, because your products are no nasties, but am I right in thinking in Olaplex, you'll know better than me, that there are a few nasties in that?
Yeah, so ours is no nasties. So it has dragon's blood, which is from a tree in like South America. But that's basically the natural bit of Olaplex doesn't have, that we've got in ours. So yeah, it's been a year kind of mixing and testing and things. So it's super excited to launch it out here as well, because I think lots of people have bad hair because of the water. Yeah. So I think it'll be really, really helpful for a lot of ladies and gents out here. So yeah, that's how I've got going forward. Obviously, just done a lot of networking and found the chemist who I partner with now, to kind of get our products, but obviously get them a little bit better than what I could do, because I have no chemistry degree. So
but you've got a lot of experience of mixing it all together. So where's your biggest market now then?
It's between the UK and GCC. So they're very, very close. The UK is still slightly higher, because obviously that's where I started. But yeah, the GCC is becoming very close to it.
Oh, so is it easier? So are you producing it here then, so you don't have the expensive shipping then? Is that how do you overcome that?
No, so we're exporting, which the UK are really liking at the moment because of Brexit. They want lots of UK export around the world.
So you're getting support from that?
We're trying to. So the Welsh government have given, no monetary support, but kind of contact support. So yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can get more out of that, really, because it's kind of helping the UK and the Welsh economy.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And I saw on your website that you won Startup of the Year. Is that right?
Yeah.
Congratulations. So what happened there?
So it was I was nominated, which was amazing. And then I had to have 2 rounds of interviews, and then I guess you had the final 4. So I think there was a few thousand that got nominated initially, and then there was 4 at the end. And I was like, well, that's amazing to be at the last 4. That I was celebrating that.
Yeah, and, you were celebrating before you needed to.
I was like, God, being the last 4, it's amazing, because there were so many other awesome companies, and then to be recognized as that was just mind blowing, considering it's just me. I guess I think I read about everyone else who've kind of had funding, have got loads of a massive team and things, and just to be recognized, I guess, was pretty. I haven't really thought about it actually until now. So it's pretty
awesome, and it's the credibility. It's another piece in the sort of personal brand story, but also in your business journey, that there's the credibility and in your situation, you were nominated, but a lot of people wait to be nominated, and quite often you actually need to put yourself forward and actually, see what's out there. Years and years and years ago, I've told this story a couple of times in my personal brand audit masterclasses, but I attended an event back in 2005, so 2006, and my business was only maybe 9 months old at the time, but it was the Lloyd's TSB Small Business Awards. And I remember just being so inspired and blown away that, 1, it was just so proper businessy, but 2, I was like, I want to win one of these awards. And I remember going up to the guy who had closed off the ceremony saying, we'll see you back next year. And I said to him, how do you win one of these awards? And what do you have to do? And, fair play, he told me the things that you needed to do. And 8 months later, I applied because I knew what I needed to do. And I actually won that year later, in that place. But so I know from, more than a decade, how much that award adds to your credibility and proof that what you're offering and what you're doing is is excellent. So well done.
Yeah. No, thank you so much.
So what's next on the cards for you?
Quite a lot actually. So we're going to be launching new products that are non-curly. That's all I can say, which I'm super excited about. And branching out our accessories range, so kind of branded accessories, which again,
hair accessories.
So hair accessories, yeah, for now, which I'm very, very excited about. So that will be kind of tie us to the end of this year. And then kind of my next kind of 18 months is just to expand more within the GCC, get more stockists, and then looking at kind of other markets as well. So the US, we've got quite a lot of not stockists, but orders. So just trying to get stockists out there really. So that's to become more global than we are already.
Love it. Where can someone in the UAE buy you? Because you can buy from your website.
Yes, from our website. And then we have a few stockists. They're all online at the moment. So all of our stockists are online. I can send you the link so you can have the links.
I can share it in the description section so people can click on that. Yeah.
So they're all curly hair shops. And in Kuwait as well as our kind of flagship one for the GCC. So I'll send you all the links.
Nice. And I have a question, and I'm curious to know if there was one thing over the past kind of, I guess since 2012, you would have done differently. Is there anything, or do you ever wish you made it commercial sooner, or?
Yes, I think believing in yourself. That sounds so, like I read somewhere and I was like, that really resonates. You can show that you're confident outside, but like inner confidence is like the best one. And I think a lot of people, like, I'm very confident in, like, I had a really good job or whatever. And I was like, I'm a really confident worker, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't have the self-belief and the inner confidence to really go for it and do it myself sooner. So I think, just going into the deep, just throwing yourself into the deep end and just going for it and believing in yourself that's what I would do.
So what are some of the things then, apart from kind of throwing yourself in there, that you did to believe in yourself?
Doing things that I knew were right. So, for example, quitting my job, even though everyone was like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Everyone. So that's ridiculous. You should do it on the side first and keep your job. And I was like, no, I'm either in or out. Like, I can't just do two things at a time. So for me, that like gave me a bit of self-belief for myself. So I was like, well, I've done the hardest bit, so I can do anything else after that. I think just taking that plunge, I think, was like major to then kind of get the domino effect and be like, actually, I can do it.
Build the momentum.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, I've really enjoyed hearing your story. Thank you so much for sharing the time today. Is there any kind of parting comments you want to share with our listeners?
No, just go for it. Because I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You can always go back. But
very true. I used to see that about flying. Like, I took a big loan when I first started my business, and I was a cabin crew at the time when I took the loan to start my business. But I always said to myself, listen, you can go back to flying. You can always go back to that job. You could maybe go back to BMW or another brand and go back to it. So it's always there.
Yeah, exactly. So just go for it.
Awesome advice. Great to have you on the show, and I look forward to meeting you in person soon.
Yay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for being here and listening to this episode today. I'd love to know what inspired you the most. Was there something that was said? Was there a real takeaway that you're like, do you know what? I'm actually going to go away and implement this. Then if there is, head over to Instagram, because I hang out there and I really want to hear what it is you say. Come and leave me a DM. Tell me the best part, or even better, share it with a friend and inspire them too. We are growing weekly and it's all down to you. Thank you so much in advance. Reviewer of the week actually left this message and it made me so happy. awesome podcast. Every episode gives me an insight into how I can grow my business brand and manage my life around this. Can't wait for the next episode. That was from DKUB2387. So they mean so much. If you haven't left a review yet, then please do head on over to Apple Podcasts, rate and review. And don't forget, be inspired and keep following your dreams. Until next time, bye for now.